All right. Today I'm talking about choices, uh, text choices. All right. So in my Django model here, so I have this field. I have some fields which I want for which I want, to make choices. So found this way of creating choices using class, and it seems from Django 3.0 upwards, one can do it this way. Although there are several ways of doing choices using tuples, etc. So this works pretty well. I'm able to define my choices here, and then I come down and say something like choices equals to color.choices, where color is the class. Now there is this specific class called month where I have like you know uh, months from January to December. One thing we notice among these is that the name that we are choosing is capitalized, then what will be displayed. So basically what is stored in the database is this, and then what is displayed is this. Yeah. All right. So here, what is displayed, what is stored in the database should be a number, and what is displayed when we enter record should be January. Like if I'm to do this, if I'm to bring out one of the, or I was trying to add a new record still. So one thing is that as we look here, for these ones, these are the choices. I have these as character fields, and we are expecting them to store strings, which is fine. But now for this one, I'm expecting them to store the integers, and I'm choosing to use a positive small integer since this is really a small integer. I don't expect it to exceed 12, so that's why I chose a positive small integer as a type of field. Now, this should be able to work in my opinion, but when I try to add a record, I get an error, and I saw a YouTube video about that error, and it seems like it doesn't work. So let me just fill in pretty fast. Boom. So tells me that select a valid choice. One is not one of the valid choices. Then I select Apple. So it doesn't work. And I've changed things around, like, okay, removed constraints and all that. Still, it stays the same. Of course, I have a constraint here, check constraint, that checks if we are entering between 1 and 12. So this is not an issue because, for example, 4 would be accepted by this constraint. And even then, to just make sure, I removed this constraint and try to check again, still the same. So what I'm going to do, I saw one guy talking about it. There's this, guy talking about it, and you know, he's talking about how to solve this. And his solution is talking about, for example, if you are using an integer field, and he's saying rather than have one as an integer, we should have it as a string. So we should have, this as a string, instead of that. And if we are using this integer field, so we are going to I tried that, but when I try that, it tells me that we need to cast it. We need to cast the values. I get an error about casting, which sort of makes sense because we are trying to supply a string to, an integer field. All right, so I'll just try and turn these ones into character fields and just set the maximum length to 2. Um, so I've decided to try another solution. So what I've done now is I really didn't want to convert this into a character field because I really wanted it to be a small integer. So I've kept it as a positive int, small positive integer, but rather than use this approach of using the class and text choices, I've used the tuple way. So I have defined it like this now, and then used the tuples, um, and now supplied that as month choices, and I didn't get any issues after that. So I guess for this I'll be using this way, and I can use this for this approach of text choices for these other ones. I tried to create a record and it was able to create successfully. Yeah, it was able to create successfully. All right, thank you.